today we would like to introduce you to the brand new app, the CommBox Scoreboard. Ian and I developed the CommBox Scoreboard with a bunch of teachers in the CommBox crew. How CommBox Scoreboard came about was that teachers were sharing that they needed a simpler and easier way to keep track of scores and points in the classroom. So just imagine what was happening before CommBox Scoreboard came along was that teachers would mark up tallies for house points, table teams, or scores on an old-fashioned whiteboard. The problem with that is it's really easy for the kids to come and rub out the score or maybe even change the score. And so what they wanted was a scoreboard that was built into the interactive screen at the front of the classroom. We followed our normal app development process where we met with teachers from the CommBox crew and we really tried to unpack the problem we were trying to solve. They wanted the scoreboards to be able to be saved. They wanted more than one scoreboard. They wanted it to be clear about which team or group was winning. And they wanted multiple ways to capture the scores or tallies. Meaning they wanted not just to every time you hit the screen for it just to add 1 point. They wanted to be able to choose the number of points to add, and they wanted to be able to take away scores from teams or children that maybe weren't quite doing the right thing. So armed with all this information, Ian and I went away and developed a prototype. We then met back with those teachers in CommBox crew and showed them the first iteration of the scoreboard. We iterated off that, and then now we have the new scoreboard available. So what Ian and I are going to show you now is how to set up a scoreboard for table teams. So table teams are often used in primary school. Children are assigned to a table, and the teacher might want to motivate or engage the tables with good behaviour and giving rewards via points. So let's set that up now. The first thing is you can have more than one scoreboard in the Scoreboard app. So let's just start with the scoreboard that comes straight out of the box, but it is easy to hit add and add an additional one. We'll go back to the first one and we'll write down each of the table names. So it's very easy to create as many teams as you would like for the scoreboard. It's as simple as hitting add team. So in our case, in our classroom, we have 4 tables, so we're going to have 4 table teams. Now you can see that our 4 table teams are set up.
Okay, so we've got a few modes that you can run this in. So at the moment you can see we've got first to reach 20. So we're going to be counting upwards until the first team reaches 20. We have 2 other possibilities. So we have count downwards from, so we could start at 20 points and work our way back down to 0. Which we do here, or the other option is that we just count upwards, and this will keep counting upwards forever. So you can keep this running the whole term and just keep your score points going up.
Great, so then when it comes time to actually add the scores to the board, it's very simple. You can see at the moment it's defaulted to every time you hit score, it's just going to add 1 point. But it's very easy to increase that to 5, and you can hit every time you hit, it adds 5 points each time. And now you can see that the green team, the green table, is now winning because it has the little crown above.
Yeah, so you can see that Sarah just set the green team to go up by 5, but actually she wants all of the teams to go up by 5. So here we can jump into edit mode. So in edit mode, we now have the option to increment all teams by 5. So we just set that there, and now all of the teams are set to go up by 5 at the same time. So we can now just resume, and you can see all the teams will now increment 5 as we tap them.
So because you can save more than one scoreboard at a time, it's really important to give it a useful name. So in this case, it's table teams. You can see that I've now renamed this scoreboard to table teams, and I'm going to name the first scoreboard house points. So this means you can keep coming back to the scoreboard to give points to table teams or even award house points.
So you can see at the moment we're on the house points table. This is an ongoing thing for the whole term, so we've got that on count upwards. But then we can go back to table teams, and you can see it saved the fact that we've got that on first to reach 20. So the other thing we have here is you can see the green progress indicator. So this shows you where you are towards the goal, which is a nice easy way for children to actually see where they are without having to understand how close 6 points is to 20. We can do other things from here. If we go back to edit mode, we could now reset this team if we want to quickly get them back to the start point, or we could also delete a team. So Sarah mentioned before that we have the crown that shows who's currently in the lead. So right now you can see purple is leading, green is 1 point behind. So if I give them a point, they're now tying for the lead. So you have that instant recognition that you're in that tie. So now green is going to streak away, and you can see they are now in the lead. And at some point, somebody's going to win. And there you can see we have a winner. Now, of course, you can carry on. We want to get the other teams up to the end as well. Yeah. But we had one final winner. And as each team reaches the goal, we get a crown, just to show that you've got there. Okay, so now we have a winner. The game is finished. Maybe we want to start again. So we just have one click, reset, and then we just confirm that. And we've just reset back to the beginning. Now we have a reset scoreboard. We have the 4 teams. So we may want to do other games with the same set of teams. So we can actually just duplicate that scoreboard. And now we have a second copy with exactly the same teams, and we can do as many as we like to do lots of different games.
Whenever CommBox develops an app, we always put a lot of thought into our UI. We want to make sure that the apps are simple and easy to use, but we also want them to be really inviting to the students. We don't want them to feel intimidated or scared about coming up to the front of the class and actually using the screen. So you can see here when we've developed the scoreboard that we've kept it simple, nice big buttons, and it's really easy for the students themselves to come up and to add scores as well. These apps are not just about the teachers. We really want to see that student engagement, and we really want to see the students come up and actually interact and use the screen. One of the problems that we wanted to solve with the Scoreboard app was giving the teachers the option to keep track of scores over a long period of time, for example, an entire term or even an entire school year. So what we've done with the app design is that teachers at any moment in time can minimize the app and take the scoreboard out of view and continue with the teaching content. Then it's as simple as maximizing it again. They can tap to add a score and then minimize it again so that it's out of view.
So we've just done all of this great work in this classroom. But what if we want to go to the next classroom? We want to take that with us, or the classroom after that. Well, we have a solution for that, and it's called CommBox Accounts. So I'm going to get Sarah to log into the screen now using her Microsoft credentials.
Great.
So you can see she just scans the QR code on a device, or you could go to any browser and put the address in here. And now Sarah's just going to run through the normal login process with Microsoft. And then finally she gets to the code confirm.
Great, I'm all logged in.
And now you can see as normal, you get your session length. So what's happened here is this is the first time that Sarah's ever logged into the scoreboard using her account. So now she gets this choice. Does she want the default, which is just a blank scoreboard? Or does she want to carry across the data that you saw before? So Sarah's going to choose guest, which means she's going to copy the data we had before into her own account. So that was a one-time choice. And now you can see that Sarah has all of this in her own account.
Great, thanks for that, Ian. For example, if you're a music or art teacher and you're moving from room to room, these scoreboards are actually going to come with you. So every time you log into a CommBox Classic S4 with your CommBox account and you go to the Scoreboard app, all the scoreboards will be there. So you might have a scoreboard for each one of your music classes, and it's no problem what room you're teaching music in, your scoreboards will be there.
Okay, so now the lesson's come to an end we just need to log out just to close the session, and Scoreboard will close automatically. So Sarah, if you could log out.
Yep.
So you can see now the screen's logging out. It'll go back to the home screen for the next user. Scoreboard's been closed and all of your data has been erased, so it's now safe and secure.
The CommBox Scoreboard can be downloaded from the CommBox store. The CommBox Scoreboard will work on the Classic V3, Classic V3X, Classic S4 and Classic S4 Plus.